Let me add myself to the stage. Shit. God, y'all, this is not gonna good. This is not gonna go well. I can already tell. Are you there, Janie?
Well, I'm not having a good one either. I forgot to mute myself over here.
uh, there's been another mass shooting at a country club in New Hampshire.
Oh, I did not hear about that.
Girl, I am always on agenda free TV. I love that guy. And apparently, I don't know. It was two shooters. They got one got away. I don't know how many people are. I know, well, there's quite a few shot. I think I don't know if there's been any fatalities, but hey, Jennifer.
And
But
where
we
did
will
you say
see.
it was?
This is in Nashua, New Hampshire.
Goodness.
I know you
It's
can't
got to
even go to.
stop.
You can't go to the country club and have a steak no more on a Saturday night. They go shoot it up. They just go shoot it right up. I'm
It's got
trying
to
to,
stop. And if we could figure out how to get it to stop, that would be a wonderful day.
wouldn't it? I don't know. I think we should probably put mood stabilizers in the water. I don't know. I don't know what to do.
That could be a creative solution.
Yeah, I'm just saying. It's just it's what I would do. So with the look, y'all know, please know, I've been dead. I have been on the brink of death for like over a week. And while I actually think the first time I did Maura Murray, I think I broke it up into two. I think I can't remember, and I didn't even go back and look. Uh, and I think every part, I'm going to quickly go over the 2 years or 3 years before her disappearance, and then we're just going to kind of like concentrate on the troubles that she had at West Point, which were a lot, and then when she went to UMass, even guy, when she went to UMass, then started having problems there after she was a complete. You're not late. No, you're 4 minutes late. I ain't gonna get started till 10. I'm just kidding.
Can I say two things before we
Yeah,
get started?
for
Okay,
sure.
first of all, I'm glad you're feeling better. I don't know
Thank
how
you.
much better, but any bit better is better. And I'm
Yes.
thankful for that. Secondly, I want to say hi to everyone in the side chat because as the chat gets moving and we're talking and listening and all that to Shannon, I'm not going to interrupt her to say hello. So
No, you need to. Yeah.
please don't
We'll
think
just get
I'm
it all
rude.
done. STA is here. Therese is here. Peggy's here. A reminder, and if one of my moderators can grab, you know what? You don't even have to. I've got it. We're going to do the caregiver support group tomorrow on Janie's channel. And I had said mine for 2, but when is 2 good for you
Uh,
tomorrow?
so that would be 1 o'clock my time.
Yeah, I mean,
It's, yeah,
if
because I
it's
forgot
not,
what time.
yeah, if it's not good for you, just let us know. We'll put it up.
Well, let's say 2 my time.
Okay, so 3 my time.
Yeah, is that okay with you?
That's fine with me.
Okay.
Okay, so we will amend that and we will have it up. So I am going to, at this point, try to make sure I have it turned down. Hey, Cheyenne. Um, okay. Let me grab my handy dandy clipboard that I just recently learned how to use. I know you won't pay because you're you're an angel. I love to use my wrench. I'll beat the hell out of anybody with it.
But I wanted to say I can't type hellos right now in the chat. I woke up from a nap and realized my keyboard was dead, so it's charging.
Hey, Nancy. That's Janie's channel. So grab that. That's where we're having the caregiver support, where we can vent and holler and yell and whatever we need to do. Look, I do love you, Peggy. You're my
We can braid each other's hair.
We can, and have Funyuns and Kool-Aid
That's
and
right.
make prank phone calls. Whatever we have to do. Oh yeah, I think Amy's a pretty good guy. We're probably not gonna have to bang him out, but uh yeah. So we're gonna. I can only briefly go over what happened with her at West Point, and the reason, I mean, Janie needs to be here is because something happened. Something happened from the year 2000 when she, is that right? When she graduated high school, the golden child of many golden children. A rumor. Fred and Laura Murray raised a pretty impressive group of humans. And while Maura was in high school, she ran track. She, was academically, in the like top of her graduating class. She got a near perfect SAT in math, and she was in like fourth or fifth percentile of all of that. She was even like Harvard wanted her. Harvard. I mean, come on. And she had so many friends in high school. It was like a group of 7 of them. Hey, there's my friend Viper, and then his wife is here. Hey, Misty Rose. She was so beautiful. Those dimples, come on. And she was smart, and something started happening. Something. I don't know what. I'm sure Janie can give us about 100 possibilities on why that mass started to just drop so quickly. I mean, she was in West Point, and her major was going to be chemical engineering. This wasn't a silly girl, she not at all. So I'm going to throw up where are my photos? Oh, we might have to get Kat down here. What'd she do with my damn photographs? Let me see. I might have them. Yeah, there we go. There we go. But we'll save you. You sit down there. We'll save it. But look at that. Yeah, chemical engineering, Peggy. She was no dummy. All right, not even a little bit dummy. And cute, and her father and all of the children, they would, her parents, I think, this divorced when she was about 4. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, she was the youngest of Fred and Lori's children. And I think Fred might have had a son afterwards. I'm not sure. So she had
her half brother.
Yeah. So she had an older brother. She had 2 older sisters, Kathleen and Julie, and then a younger half brother. Now, and I know I'm starting this like right now, but what I did want to say is this. So we can go through, hey, Halloween, Davy. There is no doubt about what happened, the days, the weeks, hey, Onyx Angle, the day that she went missing. We know exactly what she did at UMass Amherst. All right, we know exactly. Well, we're going to go over it, but we know exactly. There are receipts. There are closed, the TV, the whatever. We know exactly what she did. We know when she left Amherst. What we don't know is what happened from the time she left to the time she popped up in New Hampshire. She was driving a car that had dropped 1 cylinder. So a lot of people say, well, it took her X amount of time to get, to New Hampshire. It shouldn't have taken that long, but she was driving on 3 cylinders. So that's going to affect the speed at which she gets there. She also had gotten gas at some point because her car had an almost full tank of gas. Where she got that gas, nobody knows. Nobody has stepped up in the last 20 years and said, oh, yeah, I remember her. Yeah, well, she got it here. Not that it even matters. The reason it would matter is that there's a theory that she wasn't alone. Hey, too, there's a lot of theories in this. And this is why I'm saying we could have broken this up into 30. There are websites. Hey, Freeside, my angel. There are websites, okay, that and podcasts where they have had. I'm trying to think. It might have been 20 or more different podcasts that two people have had that lasted between 45 minutes to an hour. What the hell they found out to talk? I don't know what the hell they were talking about. I don't know. I don't know why you would go. I don't even know how you'd find out that much detail. Then we have a guy named James Renner who wrote a book about this incident. I think it was even entitled Losing His. Basically, he just was so hyper fixated on this case and he ran down every possible piece of information. And then he wrote a book. And I realized when you write a book about something, you have got to fill it with great stuff. The founding involved until 2022. Girl, Angel. Yes. Yes, that is true. As big as this case is, and it's big, and the variations that might have happened, we've got witness A that drove by, here. Then we've got another guy that 4 or 5 weeks later said, yeah, I think I might have seen a girl walking down the street on that day 4 or 5 weeks ago. Why she went, what time the cops showed up, it's all, everything in New Hampshire is up for grabs. Up for grabs. I haven't read the book either, Onyx, and I've tried to stay away from anything that James Renner has said for just one reason. There's also is it on Oxygen? I know it's here on YouTube. A woman, did a really in-depth, deep dive, like 3 or 4 1-hour episodes where she went and found all these people. And she was one of the ones that disputed the time that it would have taken Maura to drive to New Hampshire, not ever mentioning that she was on 3 cylinders. But again, the possibilities are endless for what she did do between Amherst, Massachusetts, and Haverhill, New Hampshire. We don't know. We just don't know. But what we do know, after she gets to New Hampshire, every bit of it, every bit of it is in dispute. Every second of that time is in dispute. And that's what makes this hard, because I could have gone through and gone through every single theory, every single conspiracy, every single this and that. We would have been here till tomorrow, if not more. And when I do these things, when I do these stories, I let y'all know ahead so you can look it up. And then afterwards, if y'all want to go and look at this further, which I absolutely tell you to do, because it is a maddening what happened. I've covered a lot of cases where a child disappeared within minutes. I'll go back to Dennis Martin, the little boy who went hiking with his dad and his brother on Father's Day weekend. They met up with another man with his sons, and I think it was the second day of the hike. The kids decided to run and hide from the 2 dads. And the two dads knew what they were doing, right? And Dennis had a red shirt on. And mind you, he was five or six. And they didn't want him to hide with them. So they made him, because he had a red shirt on. So he ran to hide somewhere else. Dennis Martin has never been seen again. He was gone within 3 to 5 minutes. Gone. And the army showed up to look. Hey, Wolf Rider. Different Boy Scout people went to look, and because of Dennis Martin, it changed the way search parties and whatnot were arranged. They didn't want any, now like they had when they had the Boy Scouts. Well, you've got small feet with Boy Scouts, so if you see a spot and you're like, oh, that's a really small, but it could have been a Boy Scout that was looking. So after Dennis, and he's never been found, by the way, never been found. They changed the way they search, especially dense woods. We have dense woods here that we're going to deal with that came into play. Oh, well, Frater, thank you. Thank you for the 5 months. Thank you. Yeah, no trace of Dennis Martin has ever been found. 3 to 5 minutes, he was gone. And how does that happen? I don't know. I covered it. His father, bless his father's heart, never forgave himself for it. They looked down the hill, up the hill. That boy was just gone.
Can I interrupt for 1 minute?
Sure.
Okay, so Dennis is one of those, 411 missing 411 cases that the missing 411 people have, and I think Maura might fit into that too. Just the other night, I was listening to an Art Bell Coast to Coast thing about the people who just go missing. I'm not saying this is what happened, but the guy on there who was like an expert in these cases or whatever brought up that the people who they find go missing like this are either very vulnerable, like children or people with disabilities of some sort, or they are highly intelligent. And now you see both extremes of that with the child, and then with Maura Murray, who by all accounts was extremely intelligent.
Very.
So
she also had a lot going on.
I just found that interesting.
A lot going on. Somebody said, Cougar, here's the thing about and I didn't. You can go back and watch the Dennis Martin episode of Shannon's weekly mental breakdown is what I'll start calling it. If what they did say is if he had been taking a bear, a cougar, whatever, they would have found ripped clothing somewhere
or blood.
And they never found. There was one shoe that could have been his because he didn't have like tennis shoes on. He had almost like dress shoes on. They think they might have found one of them. The dad, claimed it was his, and then we don't really know if it was his. There were no torn clothing anywhere. There was no blood. There was nothing. And to this day, I mean, the father, bless the father's heart, he's a lot like Fred Murray, where he looked, he searched. He would go there if he had a spare afternoon. And this was a hike to get there, by the way. It was like, a couple day hike. He would go and look and look and look. And we have Asia Degree, the same thing. 9-year-old girl in the middle of a thunderstorm, 9 years old, walking down a dark road. Why, we don't know. At 3 a.m, we don't know why she was out there. A woman passes her and says, "Oh, that's a pretty small child." Stopped, turned around, literally right there, and Asia Degree was gone. We know where she went. in a she went to a shed, but that child gone, poof. We had a Joan Reese that literally went missing in moments, and the fact that this happens all the time, it just yeah, it's oh, Lord. So I'm just gonna go because I'm gonna start because we have a lot to do. Like I said, after she gets to New Hampshire, that is when we don't know nothing about what happened. So we're just gonna take a look at some photographs. I get these photographs because honestly, it helps me remember what I got here, and then if I need to refer to my notes, which I'd never do, but always should. So this is Miss Maura, beautiful girl, 5'7", runner, beautiful dimples that I would sue for. There she, I mean, it's a beautiful girl. That's her high school photograph. Here she is again. We're also, but I think I know where she was going. I think I might know where Maura was going. And I found it, oddly enough, I found it in, there was another site, and I always forget to post these in the description, but I will do it, that had some excerpts of letters that her and Bill wrote to each other. And there was one where she calls New Hampshire her second home because her father took the kids there. They all loved to hike and camp. And every summer, that's what they did. And he took them to the White Mountains where she was, where she went missing. But there was a spot that meant everything to her. And in this letter to Bill, she talks about he had, wanting to take him there because this place was so important to her. And it was only 15 miles from where she went missing. I'm convinced that's where she was headed. There were also different cabins from UMass, had these cabins out there that people say she could have gone. She called all these, well, not all these, a couple of other places trying to rent them, but she only had 200. She got 280 out. She spent 40 at the liquor store. So she would have had $240 dollars. I don't know, even back then, I don't know if you could have. But we're going to talk about Bill, the boyfriend. Then we're going to talk about everything that's happened after this, because there's some pretty interesting developments, especially with Bill. We'll get to that in a second. Bree, if it, again, and I'll read the excerpt when we get to it, but it is, if a girl could be in love with a location, this is the one that she was in love with, and I'm pretty sure that's where she was headed. I mean, look at the father-daughter. Fred loved his children. He stayed in his children's life after the divorce. He coached all of their sports teams, soccer, everything. He coached them all. He never missed a game. So the co-parenting that he and Laura did were, pretty commendable. Now, here she is with this group of friends she had in high school. This is important because I'm going to, let's just tell you there's more. These girls were a pack. Well, Bree, you're going to be confused a lot when we get to what he'd been up to. Yeah, so these are the girls. These were her girls, okay? And there she is doing her little run. Girl, I would not, I bless her heart. Okay, so when Maura graduated high school, she was heavily sought after. Harvard wanted her. She could have gotten into anywhere. her sister Julie, who we see here, was already at West Point. And so she really, I don't know that she pressured Maura to go there, but Maura ended up going to West Point. There they are again, those two. So while at West Point, you have to sign an agreement when you go to West Point that you're going to serve, and I want to say it's 4 to 5 years after you graduate. And then for another 3 years, you have to be kind of on call, ready for duty. So we're thinking maybe, Maura got into West Point and thought, I don't know if I want to do this. She met a boy. She had some problems. One, she got in trouble one time for being her friends had gotten so drunk that they took Maura and laid her on the lawn of West Point with alcohol poisoning. She got in trouble for that. She got into trouble for being in another dorm room with a boy that she was dating that's going to come up. There you go. Thank you. 5 and 3 in reserve. Thank you. And it was something. At West Point, I guess you could have another sex in your room, but you couldn't be on a horizontal surface with them. You heard me right. PDX, thank you for being. Happy Saturday to you. They got in trouble, both of them, for that. So there were some problems. They were, binge drinking to the point where you have alcohol poisoning. Just saying. So then we go to the next year. We're in her now sophomore year. So Maura was on a field trip type thing at Fort Knox, if you can believe that. And Maura took a $4 to $5 thing of lip gloss. She stole it. And back then, you just didn't do that. That was absolute. Yeah, we're going to get to him. She got into a lot of trouble. And she appeared before several boards. Some say that Bill Roush, her boyfriend, who she met at West Point, was her representative in all this, but he wasn't. He wasn't. It was someone else. I forgot. She met Bill Roche there. Bill Roche knew Julie, and Julie introduced Bill Roche and Maura. Bill was a couple years, maybe 2 or 3 years ahead of her. And they had begun dating. She broke up with one boy. It was a big violation. And what had happened, Adrian, was there was a point where they said, look, we have a preponderance of evidence here. You did it. You stole. That is against it. We don't care if you stole a lipstick or a bar of gold. It's the same thing. So before they could kick her out, because they were going to kick her out for sure. This happened in November, I think, November of 2003, I would imagine. She quit January 2nd. She just quit. She knew she was going to get right kicked out, so might as well just leave. That way there's nothing on her record, right? This does not appear on any records of hers. She quickly moved to University of Massachusetts, Amherst, where she changed her degree. Nikki, she changed her major to nursing. And on all accounts, she was a student. She was very studious. But that mask started to fall again. And while she was there, a girl in her dorm noticed on credit card statements that there were some purchases, that she didn't make, and they were all to like pizza joints. So the police said, okay, well, they went to the pizza joints. They said, when this card is used, when this number is used, let us know. We will come back. We will go right to the door of the person that did it, and we'll arrest them. Well, it was Maura. Maura claimed that she found the receipt with the number on it. That's never been a thing. It's usually, even back then, only the last four. Where Maura got that card number, I am not sure. I don't know. But she was arrested for it. We got a mug shot. There she is again. There is her Bill and her dad. Let me get to there. Look, I mean, she was a daddy's girl for sure. There's Bill. There's the mugshot. AJ Cook, that's cute. Can we just get that out of here? I understand that people want to come in here and act a fool. I get it. But I will knock you the hell out up here. For sure. I will knock you right the hell up out of here. Yes, Bree, she did. I think she did. Sorry. So about let's see, it was not long. So on she went missing February 5th, 4th, 5th. The day before, Maura was working, and let me show you the where she worked security, this desk right here, at another dorm. She was working security. She, would go and check things, but mainly she just sat here. And it was on Saturday. She gets a phone call kind of late in the evening. She's at work, and she becomes what can only be described as hysterical at one point, and then completely catatonic. Her supervisor showed up. Maura was crying. Then she became unresponsive, and the supervisor kept saying, what is wrong? What is wrong? And she had just gotten off the phone with Kathleen, her sister. And the only thing that Maura could say was, my sister. The supervisor walked her back to her dorm. And the next day, which was a Sunday, her father comes up from their home, and he's got to get a new car for Maura. Maura is doing clinicals, right? And she has to go to different hospitals, even different homes, because this was part of her, nursing thing. And she needed a reliable car. And the Saturn, 1994 Saturn that she had dropped a cylinder, and it wasn't reliable. So they go out. Fred's got about $4,000 to find her a car. They found one. It was hey, Diamond got her. It was a little bit too much, and they didn't get it. Hey, redheaded wedge, thank you all for just showing yourselves real quick, and so that we can remove you. If y'all see another one like that, come in here and go after PDX or anybody else. Don't time them out, ban them. Just get them out. And they're probably going to continue to come. All right, so Fred shows up. They go car shopping, a little bit out of their range, but not big. Now, Fred drives his brand new Toyota Corolla up there to UMass. His when I say brand new, I mean he got it the week before. That week is brand new. It's okay, PDX. Don't worry about it. We'll just knock him out. It's fine. In fact, let me. Here, I'm gonna make you a boy. You knock him out. Knock him the fuck out. Let me go through here. What's next? Okay, we'll go through that. So eventually that night, Fred and Maura and one of her friends, they go out to dinner, and they tell, hey, Mama, Fred knows that they have a party to go to back on campus in a dorm. For whatever reason, they'd been drinking at dinner. Fred took them to a liquor store where Maura bought some, God, what is it? It was just the grossest stuff that absolutely a college kid would buy. Just gross. Like wine coolers, basically, and some wine. And they dropped Fred off at his hotel, and Fred let Maura drive his car back to campus to go to this party. Now, we have some odd stuff about this party. We have a very hard part about this party. It was only 6 to 7 girls. The girl whose room it was, to this day, will not say what happened at that party because she was, quote unquote, asleep. You have a small dorm room. You've got 6 or 7 girls who are drinking alcohol. And this girl says, I don't know what went on. I fell asleep. Thank you, girl. Thank you for that. At around 2 o'clock in the morning, Maura, she kept saying during this little gathering, I really want to get my dad's car back. I don't want to get my dad's car back. I don't want to get my dad's car back. But her friends were like, don't even do that. Go upstairs and go to bed. She said, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go upstairs and I'm going to go to bed. No, she didn't do that. At 4 a.m. in the morning, now you say 2 to 4. Where was she from 2 to 4? I don't know. Nobody knows where she was. Did she go back up to her room and decide to leave and take the car back? I don't know. I don't know. So at 4 a.m., Maura is on the highway going back to her dad's hotel. She hits a sandbar and then turns and hits a guardrail in the new car. The AAA comes. She calls AAA. The police come. The police didn't give her oh, wait a minute. Let me go back. I'm sorry, I forgot something. When Maura was arrested for stealing the money, the credit card, she was on a 3-month. They said, if you're good for 3 months, we're going to drop it off. She was still within that 3-month period. So now she has had an accident after she's been drinking in her father's car, not on the actual campus, but out. For whatever reason, the police did not give her a breathalyzer or any kind of test. She admitted she'd been drinking, but says she had stopped hours before. Whatever. They tow truck came. The tow truck driver drops her off back at her dad's hotel. She goes to the front desk. She doesn't have a key. They call. They give her a key. She goes in, and she is absolutely like crying. Her phone, however, was still in the car. So she was calling her boyfriend, Bill Roush, on the phone at 4:55. And she was inconsolable. And he kept saying, Maura, it's okay. You're okay. Your dad's not going to be that mad. It's going to be fine. So when Fred wakes up the next morning, Maura says, well, I wrecked your car, Dad. It's pretty bad. And he gets upset, as any father would. And he calls the police. And he didn't know if Maura was going to be if the car was going to be covered because Maura was driving it. He found out that it would. She was still crying. He kept telling her, Maura, it's okay. You're okay. That's all I care about. And he ends up renting a car. He takes her back to her dorm. She's still crying. Okay. Her father talks about this on one of her sister Julie has got a podcast that I will put in the description. It's pretty easy to find. But he talks about the last time he saw his daughter, she was walking into her dorm just crying. Now we're going to get into, this is the beginning of the end. So let me pull my notes out, because I got to get it right. If we don't get it right, it's not going to be good. So here we go. I know I got to get back. Thank you, Sarah, for that. All right. I got to get the times right, because if I don't, the world will explode. Okay, so here we are at we're in February 8th right now. She starts calling. Now her dad's got home, she's in the night. She starts calling around to different condo places. In the morning, she finishes a homework assignment. They were discussing at that point pregnancy and labor. She had to write, all the students had to write down some words and definitions and send them around to each other. That was the homework. She did the homework. She did that at like 3 a.m. It was done. Then she starts to call, places around. This is during the afternoon. She emails her boyfriend Bill, because they hadn't talked. He tried to call. She didn't want to talk to him. She even says, sorry, I'll say, exactly. She emails him first. And her email at 1 p.m. that day is, I love you more, stud. I got your messages, but honestly didn't feel like talking too much to anyone. I promise I'll call you today, though. Love you, Maura. That's the last time her and Bill communicated that we know of. Probably the last time. So then at 1:15, this is Monday. All right, we're in Monday now. She calls her nursing students, and she had a bunch of clothes, of this one girl's clothes. She calls her and says, listen, I'm getting ready to bring your clothes over back to you. And the girl says, don't worry about it. It's not a problem. She says, no, I'm going to do it. I'm going to bring them back. She takes the clothes back at 1:24. She emailed a professor to let her know that she would be heading back home for a week because there was a death in the family. There was no death in the family. So Maura has started whatever she's going to do. I wish I could tell you. I don't know. None of us know. To say you're going to be out for a week, so Janie, here we go. She's got and we're going to talk in a little while about this phone call from Kathleen that upset her so much on Saturday night. Dad came on Sunday night hey, Kevin, she wrecked the car 4 a.m. Monday morning, gets back. So we've got a pretty hysterical, she's in trouble. I mean, she's in trouble. Now, she knows that she's still within that 3 months. She has wrecked a car, but she didn't get a DUI for it. So I don't understand why she panicked.
Right.
Because a lot of people said, oh, well, she wrecked the car. She was really upset. Yeah, but she didn't get a DUI for it. She wrecked the car. But she was so upset about it. So 2:05 p.m., she calls 1-800-GO-STOVE. That is a place in Vermont, and it's basically for tourists who want to, rent cabins. That call didn't last very long. Her and Bill try to call each other at the exact same time at 2:18. Neither one of them got through to each other because Bill actually was trying to call Maura's friend Kate, who she had been with the night, that Sunday night. And so they didn't talk again. So then she drops off the girl's clothes, and I've got that here. It's a lot of clothes, but that's a lot. That's how she left them. She's 3:15. She stops at an ATM where she takes out $180. Almost everything she has in there. She has $20 left. She was going to get paid again that week. She worked at the desk there. She worked at an art gallery on campus. So she had some, a lot of jobs. So she stops and she gets that. Now we've got that. We have got her. This is her dorm room. We're going to go back over that in a minute. This is how she left. This is Maura at 3:15 at the ATM right there at the Big Y Plaza in Hadley, Massachusetts, right outside of Amherst. And so we have two more. So Maura was, for all intents and purposes, alone. I mean, we don't see anybody out there. Nobody's standing beside her, behind her. But there she is with that, she always had that little bun there, which was cute. At 3:43 p.m., she goes to Liquors 44 again in Hadley. She returned 79 cans / bottles. Some people say because in Massachusetts you take them back for like a nickel. You get a nickel or something for them. She took back 79. That gave her like $3 and whatnot. A little over $3. And then she bought. Let's get this here. She bought a bottle of Kahlua, a bottle of vodka, a bottle of Bailey's Irish Cream. She bought a 12-pack of Smirnoff Ice. This was about $40 worth of stuff. And that was at 3:43. They had the liquor store has the receipt. Now, what Maura had to do in regards to getting her father's car, paid for it, he asked her to stop by basically the DMV. If y'all don't, it's called different things. The Division of Motor Vehicles. She had to pick up some accident reports, and they were going to fill them out Monday night. He said, call Tuesday night, Monday night. He said, call me. We'll fill them out together, and I will submit them, and my insurance will pay for this wreck. She did. At 4:00, she went to the DMV. She picked up the forms. So a lot of people at this point, she checks her voicemail for the last time at 4:37. I'm going to stop right here. Because people think maybe she was going, wherever she was going to commit suicide. That is one of the theories. Well, this is a lot of alcohol. I mean, she was going to make White Russians. We get it. We get it. But that's a lot of alcohol for one person. Agreed. A lot. But a lot of people think that, she was just going to go and kill herself. No. Because with her, she had school books with her. She brought makeup. She brought birth control pills. She brought a book. The likelihood. Now, I'm not saying that she wasn't, I'm not saying that she wasn't planning on something, but I don't think suicide was what she was planning at that point. Maybe she didn't know what the hell she was going to do. Maybe these were all, she just wanted to have everything. I couldn't tell you. I wish I could. I can't. We don't know. We don't know what the hell she was thinking. But she was absolutely in crisis. Now, Janie, you have a 21-year-old girl who has run into several problems in her life, all right now dealing with alcohol. We go from the West Point incident, then we go to the, this point. So she's struggling. In my opinion, Maura is struggling. I don't know if I guess she was self-medicating with alcohol. I don't know.
One of the things I found interesting was that when she got upset that day, when she was working in security, and she had that conversation with her sister that upset her,
Mhm.
It was found out later, she said that her sister was in rehab for alcohol,
Yep.
and someone, I forget who it was,
It was
went
her boyfriend, the sister's boyfriend.
okay. So the sister's boyfriend shows up. She leaves rehab against their, judgment or whatever,
Yeah.
and he takes her directly to get alcohol, and that upset Maura very much.
Now, here's the interesting part. Kathleen, the sister, would not. She just said, I don't know. Maura wasn't upset. She just sounded fine. I don't know. It took until 2013 for Kathleen to say exactly what that conversation was, which blows my mind. How are you, your sister? You've called your sister on a Sunday night. Is it Sunday night? God, I get these all confused. Saturday night, Sunday night. You've called your sister and you have upset her this much, and it takes you 13 effing years. All you ever say is, I don't know why she was upset. I don't know. And in 2013, she said, well, I mean, I did mention that I just gotten out of rehab, AMA. My boyfriend picked me up and took me directly to a liquor store. That's weird to me. Obviously, there's some addiction issues in this family, and I don't know
That was
why.
going to be my point. And it seems like the father might have been part of that as well.
He was an enabler.
Yeah.
I think. I mean, why did you give your kid your brand new car to take if you know you have just taken her, her and a friend to a liquor store
Mm-hmm.
for a party on a Sunday night?
Right.
I understand. And if you watch Maura's sister Julie, who does I'll have to find them and I'll put them up. She even was talking to her dad in one of the podcasts that he never yelled at them. He never, when they got in trouble, Julie always said it was that disappointed look on his face that they feared the most. And, he kind of agreed. He said, no, I mean, it's just, there's no needing yelling.
Well, maybe were her other siblings, her sisters and her brother and half brother, do you know if they were overachievers as well?
Well, Julie was in West Point, so she was. I mean, you ain't no dummy. To get in West Point, you ain't no dummy. So Julie was already there. I can't find out a lot about the older brother. He was on one of Julie's podcasts, and we'll talk about that because there's a lot of discussion about Maura's, and you know what? Let's just go back to it. Let me just go back to this. There was a lot of discussion about the way Maura left her dorm room. Now, mind you, winter break, I think they had come back from winter break around January 28th. This was a new dorm room for Maura. She was in like a two-person dorm room, and the other girl was a chatter, as she said. So this was a dorm room all to herself. So we look at it. Now people say that she packed up her room. Frederick, I think. Yeah, it's Fred Jr.
Yeah, that's what I had seen, that there were boxes packed.
Her brother has, because so was her sister Kathleen. Kathleen passed away. Her mom passed away, I knew. But the brother as well? Oh, dang. So we're going to look. There's not a lot on there. Up there, we can see. And here's what she's got going on here. All right, let me go back. So it was during Julie's podcast, they talked to the brother who, with their mother, had gone to see Maura probably 2 weeks after she got to school. And he said that these photographs, when they went to look at her, Kathleen died of cancer. and I can look it up. I got it somewhere. Excuse me. That Maura, when they went, and she just gone back on the 28th. When they went, everything was packed up. She had not unpacked anything yet. And so when he went back and he saw these photographs of her room. He said, yes, she'd unpacked a little bit. So then we get that, there was a theory that she had packed her room up, and, she knew this was the end, and she had put an email on top of it all that was from Bill when they first started dating, where he admitted he was screwing around on her. Not exactly true. Maura had a box, and in that box was every birthday card, Christmas card from a lot of people were in that box. In that box, in one of the cards was the email that everyone talks about, that, proved that Bill had screwed around on her, because he had, and he had kept doing it. All right. He had kept doing it. And people said that it was placed on top. It wasn't. It wasn't. Julie said it was inside of a card. They took it out. They read it. When they were going through her stuff, they like, here's what's going on. And there we are. Let me go back again one more time. We do find out James Renner, the guy that wrote the book, found because Julie was still running track for UMass. They found an assistant coach of the track team, Husan Baganagi. I have it. I know it right. And he and Maura had a brief fling. Okay. He talks about it with James Renner. He says that Maura felt very trapped by Bill. She couldn't get rid of him, even though they were in a long distance relationship. Bill was in Oklahoma, okay, with the Army. She was in Massachusetts. They did keep, they went back and forth. She would spend 3 to 6 weeks every summer there. Bill's mother had given her several calling cards. If y'all remember back then, you had minutes and calling cards, and the mother had given Maura a lot of those for Christmas so that her and Bill could stay in. But it also they could keep an eye on her, so that if Maura was getting phone calls from Husan, it would have been on there. It would have been on her phone, which, by the way, was from Bill as well. So I don't know how she kept it away. There's also another person that possibly she had a fling with on the UMass campus, along with her track coach. So that she was starting to, they were going to get married. That was the plan. He screwed around on her. Her friends would tell her, old friends. And I guess she reacted by having flings of her own. She might have felt bad about herself and started drinking, or I don't know. I don't know what went through her head. Here's the thing: when kids go to college and they're that young, there was the Curtis. That's the half one. And you correct me if I'm wrong, but schizophrenia starts, and I'm not saying this is what she had, but there's a lot of different mental illnesses that will pop up in late teens, early 20s.
Late teens, early 20s.
Yeah, and that is when a lot of kids aren't home. So their parents aren't seeing them every day to go, something's going on here. And the people that they go to school with don't know them well enough to know
that this is not like that.
Something's going on. And I'm not saying that this is what was wrong with Maura, but this is what happens a lot. You get those teenage, early 20 years, and people are starting to, do whatever they're doing. I'm trying to remember back when I was 21. and you are dumb as dirt at 21. You are dumb, and I don't care. I mean, like in relationships and maturity wise, you can be very book smart, but you're dumb as a rock.
Right.
You do not know how life is. You do not know.
And you don't understand how much life can change in the blink of an eye. And so everything feels incredibly dramatic.
Yeah.
And intense. And you have to do something now.
Exactly.
As you get older, you learn that everything is not that serious.
No.
That if you need to take 2 or 3 weeks or a month to just, chill or whatever, everything could be different.
Oh yeah.
With an eye. So.
And does she love Bill? I think she loved Bill very much. Did he love her? I could only assume. I could only assume that he did. He had to have. I mean, we're gonna find out. Bill ain't a nice guy. No, he ain't even a little bit of a nice guy. He is very not a nice guy. Let's put it that way.
Well, you brought up 2 things right here that while they're on my mind, I want to go ahead and talk about, if you don't mind.
Sure.
The first being the one we just spoke about, that is the age where most people who end up being schizophrenic or bipolar or some other form of psychosis, it shows up. And that can be for a lot of reasons. Because, the hormones are going crazy, the changes in the body are going crazy, the changes in their lives, the stressors, the new stressors, especially someone going away to college, being away from home for the first time, all of that. So we could be dealing with that with her. On top of that, the alcohol usage, a lot of times it's the first time that kids of that age are left to make their own decisions about alcohol usage, and they use a lot of it, and that also has a big impact on any underlying mental disorder. The second thing about the idea that she may have been going off to commit suicide.
Right.
These pictures, to me, here's what it brings up. She made sure she got that girl's clothes back to her, even though the girl said, don't worry about it.
Yeah.
A lot of times when people have this solution, which it's not a solution, but when they think that this is going to be a solution, they start taking care of things like that. They return things that they've had for, it could be years even.
Right.
They also start giving away things that are meaningful to them. I don't know if she did that, but I was under the impression, and you said wrongly so, according to her sister, that she had recently packed boxes.
Yeah.
What this makes me think, and the fact that she did leave some things behind, is that she may have thought that if something didn't work out on this trip, that may be how she ended the trip.
Yeah.
But if something worked out, and if her feelings changed about something, if she got away for a little while to a place that she loved, as you've said, and had some drinks and just got away from everything that was stressing her, that, then she comes back and her stuff's still there.
Yeah.
So it makes me think that if that is the case, she wasn't dead set on it.
Right.
She didn't have like a plan and this is what I'm going to do and that's it. This was kind of a like saying, okay, let me go ahead and take care of the things I need to take care of. I'm going to go ahead and do my dad's reports with him. And I'm going to get back my girlfriend's clothes. I'm not going to unpack all this stuff to make everyone else have to deal with if things go, awry.
Yeah.
But I am going to get away from here. I'm going to go have some drinks. If I feel different and I come back, then everything's still here. And wasn't there, I don't want to jump too far ahead because I know you're probably going to cover this, but one thing that also brings this into mind is that they say there was a rag in her, in her, what's it called? Not the muffler, but the tail.
No, it was in the muffler. It was in the exhaust pipe.
Yeah, in the exhaust pipe, yes.
Yeah.
And so I'm thinking maybe she got impulsive while she was out there waiting and didn't know what she was going to do. And she thought, well, this is one way I could do it, and then thought, no, because here's another, Kids at
Yeah.
that age are impulsive anyway. And especially if something was going on with her mental health or she had been drinking,
Yeah.
and whether the thoughts she were having were reality or if they were based in psychosis, we don't know. But surely alcohol on top of that isn't going to provide clarity. But it seems like it might have been someone fighting with themselves, thinking, but wait, things could be different. Things could
Yeah.
change, and I'm not willing to commit to this yet.
The here's the rag in the in the muff in the exhaust pipe was actually something her father told her, because when you're on 3 cylinders it would make a lot of smoke, and to cut down on that smoke, stick a rag in there and all that, you won't be pulled over. That's 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 what he said.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, this is, again, I don't know if she didn't know what to. I don't know. I don't know. I wish I knew. I would, it's like I think she left herself options. She, like you said, she took that back. She didn't unpack her dorm room. I don't think she had planned not to. Maybe she just, hadn't got around to it yet, because her brother said, yeah, that's way more. She had unpacked a lot more
Right.
since, we had been there.
Well, and you
Onyx
can see
brings
that
up
the things that were important to her were
yeah,
unpacked, like the stereo,
yeah,
like some of the clothes, the computer, whatever, the things that were important. And then the rest of it, the sentimental stuff, like her letters and cards and all that stuff, she was probably just kind of like, you know what? They're not hurting anything, staying in boxes, even if it's for
yeah.
the whole time I'm here.
Onyx brings up the pressure of her uh being a complete overachiever, the grades, the athletics, the going to West Point. I'm sure she thought she let Julie down, her dad down, her parents, by getting kicked out of there or leaving. And yeah, I think you're exactly right, where she really did not have coping skills. Because when again, she had stolen the credit card number. She
Yeah,
had
the
used
acting
it.
out. It
Yeah,
wasn't anything major. She wasn't going out and buying, crazy stuff. She was buying pizza and she stole a lip gloss. That's acting out.
yeah,
That's someone who is looking for almost something to give them that feeling that they are in control, right?
yeah. She wanted out of West Point. She didn't want to be there anymore.
Right.
What's the best way to do it without telling your sister, who you love so much, and she had a full ride. Nobody was paying. She had a full ride to UMass. She got a full ride. That's how gifted she was. But she, I guess she thought, and she had, let's just admit it. I don't know that her father and them didn't know about the credit card at all.
Right.
So they didn't know that was that had happened. And what, I'm sure they would have been very disappointed.
That may have been why she was so upset when she wrecked his car, even though she didn't get a DUI or anything.
Yeah.
If he didn't know about that, all he had to do was be in a conversation with them and then say, this isn't going to affect that 3 months. She has to behave herself for that shoplifting thing, and that could have been in her mind. Oh my gosh, if my dad finds out about that,
It's just the rapidness of how this deteriorated, from getting the call from Kathleen on Saturday night, dad coming Sunday, you wrecked the car early Monday. It's going to be fine. The insurance is going to cover it. He rents a car, drops her off. She's absolutely, mortified and upset because she's upset him. It's a rapid. Just rapidly started to deteriorate.
That brings me to a third thing that I wasn't going to bring up yet, but the idea that she wanted to go missing. She wanted to get away. Okay, so she set herself up for a week. She said She's had a death in the family. She's going to be out of town for a week.
Right.
So she's got a week that she's given herself to decide, is she going to just disappear?
Yeah.
Is she going to end it all? Or is she just going to take a week off, get away from everything, see how everything works out and changes, and go back? She's left herself a lot of openings there, if you think.
Yeah.
And she's given herself the week to do it.
And that's why there are so many different theories to this, because she did leave a lot of doors wide open.
Right.
And so nobody really knows what she was, again, this was a rapid deterioration within 72 hours of okay to oh shit. I mean, that's how it went. Then when she popped up, we more pops up at so at 7:27 in Haverhill, New Hampshire, on a back road. Here's her route right here. It took about 2 hours or whatnot. This is the route that she took straight there. She's getting back up into those white mountains that she loves so much. Where was she going? Nobody knows. She had not made reservations. This was 7:27 at night when she did have this accident. I don't know how much further she was going to go. I know that where this Indian Leap, I'll read the spot. The Indian Leap that she loved so much was literally 15 miles away from where she wrecked. She was almost there.
Mm-hmm.
Then there are other like cabins that UMass had up there that people could, rent or whatever. It was a lot of money. But all right, so at 7:27, we have Faith Westerman, who hears a thud. Here's a big noise, right? You got to love Faith Westerman. Faith Westerman looks out the door, out the window, and go, oh, yeah, huh, there's a car facing the wrong way on the wrong side of the road. She calls 911 and she says, we got a car out here in the ditch. It's going the wrong way. They asked her about the driver's condition, and Faith Westerman says, I don't know, I can see a man smoking a cigarette in the car. And that gets contested pretty quickly by even her own husband. But she didn't bother to go out. That's one of the theories, Nancy, but we don't know who she was meeting. So yeah, Faith Westerman just says, cause now she didn't keep eyes on that car the whole time. She would have to look out her mirror, out of her not mirror, her kitchen window. So she didn't stand there and look, At 7:35, this is all contested. We'll find out in a minute. Cecil Smith, who is a police officer, was dispatched 2 minutes after Faith's call at 7:29. Okay. Anyway, here we go. This is where it all gets stupid. So we're at the site of the accident. Smith again then arrives. Anyway. All right, so we're just gonna keep going. At 7:35. All right, so this was 7:27. This gets called in by dispatch at 7:35. You were gonna hear a lot about witness A. Okay, witness A. But let's talk about this. So at 7:35, witness A is driving home from her job. And she says that when she pulls out of her job, which is at some kind of clinic, that vehicle 001 of the Haverhill Police Department is behind her with lights and sirens. And he goes by her. And she thought, well, but she knows it is vehicle 001. Okay. So then she keeps going. And on the way home, she calls her family several times, because out here in this area, Route 112, hey, seeker, there is no cell service, none. To this day, they say there is little cell service on this road. So she calls her family before she hits this patch of no coverage, to let them know that she is X amount of the way there. She says that 011 passes her again, lights and sirens. And she looks over, okay, and and she's on now Route 12. All right, right there. And that there is a car, hood to hood, with a dark sedan. She says that vehicle is police 001. However, I say this, however, let's do this. At 7:42, Butch Atwood shows up. But there he is, Butch Atwood. He drove a school bus, and he was on his way home. Okay, he lives on right down from Westerman and whatnot. He sees the car on the wrong side of the road, facing the wrong way, and he stops. He's a big guy. All right, he's a very big guy. And I can see where a 21-year-old girl would probably be like, I don't know if I want to go to your house with you. He asked her if she's okay. And he says, do you need me to call the police? She said, oh, no. I've called AAA. It's fine. I'm just waiting for them. Butch Atwood knows, okay? A Black Pearl School girl. How you doing, baby? Butch Atwood knows that girl ain't made no call because there's no cell service. So he's side-eyeing her and going, are you sure? Do you want to come to my house? My, wife and my mother are there. You can stay warm until they get here. She's like, oh, no. There's nobody with her, according to Mr. Atwood. So this is what would have had to have happened if we listened to Witness A, who says at 7:35, she sees 001 butted up against the dark sedan. When Butch Atwood comes through at 7:42, that's not the case. Make of that what you will. So he kind of looks at Maura to see if there's any bleeding. She seems okay. But he goes in and he calls 911 as well. So let me find it. Where did I put the damn? All right, he calls it 7:42 is when he passes her. He calls in. We're talking about 5 to 7 minutes. 5 to 7 minutes before 001 shows up. Okay, 5 to 7 minutes. When 001 and Cecil Smith get there, there's no Maura. No Maura. The car is locked up. No Maura. He can see that the airbags have deployed. There's also a crack in the windshield that came from the inside of the car. So she hit her head. All right. That's, and she got the whole airbag. So, oh man, this gets so crazy. So Cecil logs in. He calls a dispatch. I am here. It's between 7:45 and 7:47 is the time, right, that he gets there. And at 7:46, dispatch records that Cecil Smith is on scene. Then we go back to Witness A, who at 7:52 gets her service back and calls home. And, so between, again, on her account, she would have ridden, because she says she stopped. She said, I stopped and I looked back And there didn't seem to be any emergency. I guess she might have been a nurse. I can't tell what she was. And then she decided she doesn't really need it. And she proceeds on. And she puts that time between 7:33 and 7:37. Cecil Smith doesn't get their dispatch shows until 7:46. So, again, this is a lot of numbers. But then by the time Butch Atwood comes in at 7:42, there's no car there. There is no Cecil. So, a lot is made of what Witness A saw. But to me, it just doesn't make any damn sense at all. Shortly after that, EMS shows up. And Cecil Smith and another officer said, you know what? Yeah, just go on. We don't need you. Which begs to differ. So you have a car that's facing the wrong way. You have airbags deployed. You have the windshield cracked from the inside, and you have nobody there. The car's locked up. Why are you sending EMS away? We got a girl who has been in an accident because she hit a tree. I mean, she spun, hit the tree. Deployed airbags, cracked windshield from the inside, no one in sight. Just go, you know what? Yeah, EMS, just go. It's good. And then he tells them she's a 5'7" girl who may be drinking. How do you know she was 5'7"? She took her cell phone with her wallet, alcohol, the Kahlua, the Baileys, the vodka, and in her bag, and she effed off. She's gone. All right. Now, when they get in the car, they see red stains everywhere in the car. Red stains. Not blood, red wine. Maura had gotten a box of red wine when she was going to go to that party. It was still in her car, and there was red wine all over the passenger side, the ceiling. So Maura had absolutely been drinking. She had been drinking, and when she realized that Butch Atwood, they're going to call the police, I've got to get out of here. I've got to get out of here. It went from 7:42 to 7:46, 7:47, 4 or 5 minutes. She is gone. Gone. Okay. Now we'll look at it. Let me find you a good again, this is the road. We've seen this road. That's the weathered barn up there, which is a here it is. I mean, you can't. So if we can see here. So there's the crash site. If you can see this, I hope it's big enough. And then you'll see here where we have dogs. So that night, there was a tow company that was on call that night for the police department who would have picked this car up. But they didn't call him. They called another guy. For whatever reasons, we don't know. That other tow guy towed the car to his personal garage. Not a garage like
for investigations and stuff.
Yeah, to his own garage. Why? Nobody knows that either. Nobody knows. So the next day, so now we're into Tuesday, late Tuesday afternoon, New Hampshire finally gets a hold of Fred and says, your daughter's missing. Your daughter has had an accident up here and she's missing. And he's like, what the hell have you done to find her? And they're like, she hadn't shown up yet. And so Fred, in a panic, he doesn't go there that night. I don't know why he didn't go there that night. He left the next day, and he got up there pretty early. So they had brought the dogs out by then. So if you look in this photograph, you see where there's an intersection, and that's basically where the dogs lost Maura's scent. However, and that's a big part of this, that people think that the dogs lost her scent right at this intersection. Somebody must have picked her up. let me let me explain this to you. So they used a pair of gloves that were inside Maura's car. Maura had gotten those gloves for Christmas, and no one thinks she'd ever even put the gloves on. So when they gave the glove, the dog the gloves to this that didn't really have her scent on it, they didn't track anything. Basically, they just went up the road. The dogs. They also said, look, the conditions were really bad. It was too cold. It was, ice. And the dogs wouldn't have got a good reading either way. So we have to knock that out of the way. That she was picked up at this intersection because that's where the dogs lost her scent. Dogs probably never really had her scent because of this, the gloves. So when the car is moved, Cecil Smith, I forgot to add this, finds a Coke bottle, and inside the Coke bottle, it smelled of alcohol. So basically, Maura was putting the wine in the Coke bottle. If you've ever seen a box of wine, the little thing there. And we don't know how drunk she was. We don't know, but she absolutely was drinking and got scared and left. So then let's go back, and let's go to the theory of the tandem car, which would be that she met somebody and they were behind her or in front of her, and there was a tandem car there. And when she wrecked, that person swooped in, picked her up, and off they went. No, that couldn't have happened either, because Faith Waterman didn't see it, Butch Atwood didn't see it, other cars went by that didn't see it, Witness A didn't see it. So, I think Faith Westerman said there was a flurry of activity at the back of the car. And that was Maura getting her shit together because she get ready to go. All right, she gone. There's no cell update. There's no cell service. Now, let's talk about. Let me just run this. Hold on. There's the car. All right, this is the car, obviously in spring. That car stayed up there a very long time. I don't think Fred ever went and got the car, actually. So we got the air bag. There it is, deployed. There it is again at the guy's personal garage. I don't know why. And here in this photograph, you can see where the windshield was cracked. Now it's red. Just to show, because it wouldn't really show up in a photograph that well, but that her head hit that thing from the inside, and that's just to show you. So EMS. Here's the Coke bottle that was found with the alcohol in it. So Maura was drinking. Again, you have got her now. Let's picture Maura, who's already in a pretty rapid deteriorating state. Now she has wrecked her car on this road. No cell service. You have she doesn't know that Westerman is called. Butch Atwood pulls up. He said he was going to call, and she is in a panic. I passed out. So she knows they're coming. And she is all like, this is it. This is the worst possible thing that could have happened has happened. She has had another accident. She is drinking. This 3 months thing is over her head. She's upset about her dad's car. The world has just crushed Maura Murray. I mean, let's face it, that her world has just, in her mind, this is it. This is the, and she takes off. So Fred shows up on Wednesday morning, drives up there. Okay, let me explain that. Well, yeah, right. Let me explain that. So what Faith Westerman's own husband said, there wasn't, kind of had an argument with us that there was not anyone smoking in that car. It was the light from a cell phone. And I guess afterwards, Faith kind of agreed, well, yeah, I guess it could have been, it could have been the light from a cell phone. There was nothing in her car. There was no tobacco smell. There was no any evidence of any cigarettes being in the car. There were no cigarettes outside of the car. So I think everybody's pretty sure that Faith saw Maura on the phone, and that, because I mean, we got to, Butch Atwood lived like 100 yards away. Faith was a little bit closer, and there's actually a map. Let me find this map. I've got the map. Let me find it. It's because a lot of this I could where's that damn map? I left a lot of little things up here. Hold on. It's here. I got it somewhere. The map of everything there in the distance. And here we go. All right. And let me go back to over here to y'all. And let me share the screen. Here we go. Did I just knock myself out?
No, you're still here.
What? Oh, okay.
You're here twice.
What am I? Get out. There.
Twinsies.
Go away, person. All right, let me. What the hell have I done?
Okay, you're back.
Shit. Can't. Here's what we'll do. We're gonna mute that. We're gonna mute it. And I'm super that good.
You're muted. Do you know that?
There.
Okay.
Hold on. I'm still echoing. I have to call my IT tech. We call IT. Yeah. Oh, let me mute. Oh.
Yes, just a brief intermission.
No. Go away. Hold on. IT on the way. Get back. Take a break. Hold on. Hold on.
We are still here. She's just trying to find the map that she needs. Hang in there. Thank you for being here, by the way. Hello to everyone who's here that I haven't said hello to. My keyboard is charging, so I can't type in the side chat right now.
Okay. Oh, yeah. You don't want my singer. All right, this is going to be in this one.
How is it three of you?
I don't know. Man.
How is there three?
Because I'm very good at it.
Well, it's because you got labs open.
I've got a lot open.
Can I close all of
it? No.
Which one's
I don't know. Okay. Okay. Yeah, get rid of that one. That one.
You have.
I don't need it. Hold on. Let me see what I don't need. All right. I don't need this.
Put all the tabs you need in the front.
I don't need this.
Put them
I
on.
don't need that.
Okay.
I don't need that.
Do you need any of them?
Well, I don't know. I don't need that. I don't need that. I have a lot.
My name is spelled wrong on your phone too. My contact is spelled wrong.
Let's have this debate. We don't have.
My name is spelled wrong on your phone.
In the chat. I got 700 people in chat right now. I ain't got time for you. See that? I don't need that one. I have a lot of tabs.
Now the cat's in here.
Which cat?
Junior.
Georgie boy. Okay, now the cat's even pissed off. All right. Should this be better now?
Yeah. Go back to the tab. Red circle all the way to the left.
Oh, all right. Oh, we good? Wait a minute.
Junior. Do they want to say hi to the cat?
Here, hold on. Let's show the cat. We have to show the dumb cat. Hold on.
Top. Wait, no, at the top. Your camera on the computer.
Oh, that's it. I was like, why is there no me? All right, I only had 37 tabs open, so it's fine now.
Oh, baby.
This is boy. This is our panther.
One of them.
One of our panthers.
Oh, he's camera shy.
Never. All right, go back up there with your sister. Okay. Here we go. Okay.
Did you say his name was Georgie Boy?
Well, no, I call him Judy Boy, but his he's trying to kill his sister right now. I call him his name is Junior because my son named him 1,000 years ago. I always call him Juju Boy, Juju, asshole, fat ass, all kinds of good stuff.
Now you hurt his feelings.
I did hurt his feelings, and I'm sorry. You can go rip up a shoe of mine. That'll show me.
Thank you, Kat.
You're welcome for saving the stream.
You thank you, Kat. But listen, when I am live, I need this to be constant. We need constant communication. You know, I will F it up.
You should call me.
Well, I didn't think to call you. All right, so I am going to. I've presented this. I'm going to go over to this map and open it up. And I hope this works because it's not. It's really hard to do, but so here we were going here. We got the crash. Let me make sure I can see it. Hold on. If it's doing this right. Okay. So these are different places that she could have gone. Let me get it right. Hold on. All right. So this is all right. We've got Atwood's house. Here we go. You just gotta open it up a lot. Butch Atwood's house right here. This Mariette, that's like a trailer that was there. And over here, if you see in the bottom here, it's the Westman house. And then you see the barn. Let's show you the barn. There's that barn that's all, that famous shot of the barn that is the red weathered barn, aka a antique store. So this gives you a little bit. Westman saw it first, and there's the crash is right there. So here's Miss Westman, and she can see it out of her thing. And then here's Mr. Atwood. And believe it or not, they say that's 100 yards. Okay, I'll believe it. I mean, it could be. And he also kind of keeps eyes on us. This gives you a little bit of the where people are, when they run across her. And then up here at this Bradley Hill Road up at the top, that's supposedly the intersection where they lost her scent. Again, it looks like a whole lot further than, I would think, but these are the, let me stop sharing that. All right. Let me go back to, so we are back. He is a handsome boy. I've got two. They're Panthers. They really are. They're badasses, but I love them. It drives me too, Miss Jennifer. And I mean, it's just sad. It's just sad to me. This beautiful girl, these parents, her mother died. Her mother died, if you believe in anything that is supreme enough, you know that her mother now has all the answers. That's what you believe. If more, I mean, let's, Maura is not around. Even though Mr. James Renner believes, and I can't believe I'm saying this, he believes that Maura is living in Canada and that people have seen her in this one town in Canada. I don't think Maura Murray would have run from her family and do this to them, but I could be wrong. I hope I'm not, but I could be wrong.
The only way I can see that is if she is so afraid of disappointment. They did say that look of disappointment on their dad's face. Was the thing. So that, but at the same time, seems like after all these years, she would have reached out somehow.
Yeah, you would think. But this is another thing that was in the car, and there's a lot of information on this, but what we're doing right now, it doesn't really. This is it showed, and this is from Julie's podcast. The wine cooler type crap that was left in the car, and the other things that were left, the books, the gloves, it was stuff that doesn't even matter. It has no bearing on any of this, really. Okay, so this is the dorm room. Now, supposedly, Bill Roush got into her room. Let me just tell you this too. Bill Roush he took leave from Oklahoma. He flew to New Hampshire to help search. While he was in the air, he, you don't get phone calls there. When he landed, there was a voicemail, and it was heavy breathing and whimpering. He is positive that this was Maura. He has said it 1,000 times. He thinks it was Maura. It was Maura. And then this is, if you would, this was the last thing he'd ever heard from her. Especially when you talk to her. Yeah, her mother was sick. Yep. This was going to be a huge disappointment. When you think about it, you have an older sister who has just come out of a rehab. Okay. You have got another older sister that is in West Point. Okay. Doing really well. and then you're the one, right? You're the baby daughter there, and you have effed up now in the last year of your life several times, and it ain't getting no better. But the thing with this search is when Fred got there, when you go out into those woods, let me go back and show you again these woods because they're dense. I'll give him that. But he said there was 2 feet of snow, 2 to 2.5 feet of snow in those woods on those roads. And there was no way that you could traverse your way through there and not leave a footprint. There was a man, a searcher there that brought dogs. They had, infrared helicopters going up. The one man searched these woods several times, and he said she is not in those woods. Now, in wintertime, you can look, it's not quite as dense as it would be in the fall. I mean, in the spring or fall. Oh, spring or summer. Because, a lot of these, it was, bad. So, the man that did all these searches assures, Fred and all them, she's not in these woods. She was nowhere. I mean, she was nowhere. I told you about 4 or 5 weeks later that there was a man who saw a girl walking. He said, "Gee, maybe that was her. Should I call it in?" And the wife was like, "Yeah, all right." Couldn't prove it was her. Couldn't prove it wasn't. So that doesn't really stand. Fred went back there every weekend. Every weekend he would drive up there. 5 hours. He would search. The people that owned the land said, "We don't want you up here anymore. We don't want people up here. We don't want vigils. We don't want any of that." And became very, here's the timeline again. And you see here in the yellow, I think I've got it in 2 different ones. It was literally between, a very short period of time. This is Indian Leap, 15 miles away from where she went missing. And I'm going to read just an excerpt from a letter that she had written to Bill. This is where she calls New Hampshire her other home. And she couldn't wait to get Bill up there. She said she'd gone there every summer. Let me think. She'd gone there every year of her life and would hate for that. Basically, she wanted Bill to see it. I think it was a major part of who I am today and the things I love to do. And for me to have known you for a year and you being the man I want to marry for the rest of my life, and yet you have not experienced that huge part of me with the hiking and jumping off Indian Leap. And then she talks about how much she loves him. And this right here is Indian Leap. 15 miles away from where she wrecked. Now, of course, this would have been wintertime. I don't know if she would have been, probably wouldn't have been a good idea to go to Indian Leap with 2 feet of snow on the ground and ice. But this was 15 miles from where she wrecked. So people say maybe she didn't know that road. Yeah, she had to have known that road. Then some people had said, "Oh, well, it was within walking distance." Excuse me? 15 miles in snow and ice at 7 o'clock in the evening is not walking distance.
She was a runner.
Yeah.
And she was young and impulsive.
And she was scared.
And
yeah, and scared. Yeah, could she have made it that far? She could. So over the years, there were some bones found near the wreck site. They turned out to be hundreds of years old. Hundreds of years old. There have been developments where some people said that they were hiking near where the accident site was, and they found a identification card that had Maura's name on it. That never happened, but it got reported widely. Again, we're going to look at the Saturn, of the things that were in it, and it was basic things. Her books. It's interesting to see, but just got out of moon dancer. And again, here's where the alcohol was. You see the book, you see the beer that were in the car, and the things that were missing, which was all of the alcohol, which at the time the police didn't know that. Right? Like the night that she wrecked, they didn't know she packed up all of her alcohol, her wallet, and her stuff like that. But that's what she took with her. And here's the timeline, and I can't make this any bigger.
Okay, on the timeline, I need clarification from you.
Okay.
When was the 001 Haverhill Police Cruiser departs the scene at 7:42? Mm-hmm. So, okay, so this was seen at the scene after Butch Atwood had stopped.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. I needed clarification.
Yeah. And in this yellow right here is the time in which it took her to disappear. Very short amount of time. Very short amount of time. And so honestly, like, the witness A that is, blow. I mean, everybody talk witness A. Witness A didn't see Butch Atwood. You know what I'm saying? He hadn't come through yet. And when Butch Atwood came through, there was no hood to hood with Maura's car. They even said that there weren't any tracks in front of Maura's car, so that the whatever witness A saw, she said it was police vehicle 001, an SUV driven by Cecil Smith, but Butch Atwood didn't see it. There were no tracks in front of the car. But then you can go and you can look somewhere else, and they'll tell you that there were absolutely tracks in front of the car. This is why I said we could do that. We could debate all of this forever, because there's so many stories. Like, she had packed up her dorm room. Her family says no, that she had actually unpacked a lot of stuff since they saw her dorm room.
So then this timeline brings up the possibility, though.
Yeah, it brings up the possibility if you believe.
She didn't feel comfortable with him because he was a big man.
Yeah.
And, a big man stopping in the night and asking you if you want to go to his house. Even if you're going to be like, no. Plus, he's talking about calling the police, and she doesn't want the police, right?
Yeah.
Then the SUV is seen on the scene.
Right.
By this timeline, whether or not this is, true or accurate. But the witness says that it's seen on the scene. Could she then thought, well, I'm busted because this guy's a cop, but at least I can trust him, grabs the things in her bag and says, if it's going to happen, it's going to happen if I get in trouble, but at least I'm going to get out of here safely because you can trust a cop. Now, could the cop have been shady?
The cop is a suspect, believe it or not. Because he had wonky times on his own report.
And that's a big red flag.
Yeah. Supposedly, Cecil Smith had the habit of logging in to whatever. He would call dispatch upon arrival before he ever did anything else. So on this particular night, and if you go back and you look at his police report, it has a time on it, which was, let me find the time. Hold on, it's over here. He has one time on it in one of them. So let me find it. It was 7:45 is when he said that he originally showed up. And we know witness A says that he was there 10 minutes earlier.
Right, 7:37.
So then he did another report where he pushes it a little further and says, well, I actually got out of the car and my 001, I got out, I looked around the scene, I looked around the car. So this would have added a couple of minutes, okay, to where it wasn't his habit to do that. So when he logs in there at 7:45, then he turns around and says, well, actually, I got there maybe a little bit earlier than that, couple minutes, because I got out, even though I've never done that before, and I walked around. So now there's 2 times.
Which would explain any footprints just in case.
Exactly.
So it sounds
he
like
walked around the car.
Right.
Now, let me tell you, this police department, there have been drunk driving charges made against, and this is a 3 or 4 person police department. We're not talking about large scale. But Cecil Smith has been interviewed about, I think, everybody on earth, quite frankly. And it is that, he says it's maybe 3 to 5 minutes. What are you walking around a car for 5 minutes for?
Right.
But that's exactly the time that she disappeared.
Right.
Did he hit her? Did he accidentally hit her? Did he put her in the back of was she in the back of 001 while he was sitting there? And that's why he told EMS to go. No need for you to be here. Because maybe, possibly, he had her in the back and maybe he had a drink, or, there's so many possibilities, but that's a possibility that he had hit her accidentally, maybe, I don't know.
Yeah.
And that he had put her in the back of the car of his, 001 and, whatever from there, took her. That's why he didn't call the on-call towers. He called another tower that took the car to his own personal garage.
Right.
So there's a lot of stuff that shouldn't have happened, or that never happened before, that all of a sudden happened that night.
Yeah, or as we know, she's prone to getting hysterical when she thinks she's in trouble. He stops. She's hysterical then and she starts saying, I'm going to be in so much trouble. And he says, listen, get in the car. I'll take you where you need to go. She gets in the car. She's hysterical. He uses that to his advantage and says, we can make this whole thing go away. She takes offense to it, rejects him. He takes care of business.
That is exactly kind of what, out of the possibilities here, one possibility, she ran into that dense wood and 2 feet of snow without leaving any footprints and died. Because there's been a lot of, I've been doing, I act like an old detective. I've been doing this a long time, but I do know that a body can be in the woods and you can search that area and you're not going to find it, but then you're going to find it 5 years later. There's a case of that here in town. An area was searched and it was searched over and over again. And then 5 years later, we find remains in that area that was searched all these different times. Is she in there somewhere? We haven't had a book bag. We haven't found, what she was wearing, the jacket she was wearing. Nothing has ever been found in those woods. Does that mean she's not there? Nope. Because now we're going on 21 years that she's been gone.
And when you're an officer, if something were to have happened, he could have shoved her out in the snow.
Yeah.
And like Onyx Angel says here, why would you tell EMS to leave if you don't know that someone hit their head and could be wandering hurt? Why wouldn't you say, hang out for about 10, 15 minutes. Let's see where this goes. But being an officer, he could go out there afterwards move the body,
Yeah,
bury the body, whatever.
absolutely.
When you've got 2.5 feet of snow, that
That's a
night
lot.
he could have put her in the snow,
He could have done a lot.
went back later, especially if his times aren't matching up and he's changing his times and he's sending away EMS before
Yeah.
he even knows whether or not there's a woman wandering somewhere with a head injury.
Yeah. I mean, it's a plausible explanation, and I think somebody came in and the FBI started looking into it like only recently in the last few years, because this thing went nowhere. This
Right.
case ended that night.
Right.
You know, you
It
can
ended because of the police.
the
That's how
police.
these things end, because, oh, she's just missing, so we're
Yeah.
not going to start a big old search party. She may have wanted to go missing. You know,
Well, yeah. And Fred, listen, Fred is sued the state of New Hampshire. He has sued everybody he can because like there was an A-frame house. Let me just mention this. And there was a man that lived there, and he was a like he had beat up women and whatnot. And his brother, instead of going to the police, goes to Fred and says, "Listen, I think my brother killed your daughter and has buried her in the A-frame house. And I found this rusty knife, but I think it's got blood on it. Here you go, Fred, have it." Fred tried to take it to the police. The police said, "What are you bringing it to us for? He's touched it. You've touched it. There's no chain of command here. We can't, we can't." They tried to get into that A-frame house. The guy that lived there would not let them in. Like maybe 10 years ago, that house sold. And the person that bought it let the police come in. And the police went through that house. There are stories that there was blood in a closet. Human blood, don't know. Could it be typed? Could it be even, human, animal? Couldn't tell. The theory that she was under a new cement floor that was in the basement, that wasn't true. They did the ground penetrating. She wasn't there. So that is gone. Now that theory is gone. That man did not kill her. She is not in that house. And whatnot.
But what does it do if the police say, the chain of command on this is all messed up?
Yeah.
So we can't do anything for you. What does it do that leaves that being an option? Because the police refused to rule it out that her blood was on the knife or whatever. That gives them a cover. Well, it could have been, but what can we do about it?
Red ended up sending the knife in the mail to the New Hampshire State Police. They have that they logged in that they received it. We've heard nothing else. Right. Nothing. There's nothing that's ever come out. If Fred tried to call them, they, here, well, let me transfer you here. Let me transfer you here. And this is why he kept suing. He kept suing them because he said that they did not. When he got there, they hadn't even really looked anywhere. When he arrived Wednesday morning, and this happened Monday night, that they hadn't really done anything. And until he got up there and started rattling some effing cages, is when these dog teams started coming out, and then the helicopters. At this point, she'd been missing over 24 hours.
And so between Monday and Wednesday, that's a long time for whoever.
A damn long time
to go back, move the body, dispose of the things.
Yeah.
She could have been taken hundreds of miles away by then to be left somewhere.
And we're talking about rolling hills here. I mean, dense areas. I'm going back to my step grandfather. He had all these different like fishing holes and hunting grounds, and I think he took me and my grandma to this one place he would go fishing. Now, would I ever be able to find that again? Absolutely not. Does Cecil hunt? Is he a fisherman? Is there a spot? I
Right.
mean, it's the possibilities are: one, she's in those woods. They just didn't find her. Two, that she did make it up to that intersection and someone picked her up.
Right.
Three, something happened on that road, and for whatever reason, Cecil Smith could have been, because the time that she disappeared here is the very difference in when he says he arrived and didn't call in immediately.
Right.
These are it's the exact amount of time. It's
Right.
the exact amount of time. Now, if there, it's the other possibility is that she is alive and well and just wanted to start a new life.
Right.
I don't think so.
Right.
I don't think so. So this is the tree. So the tree, the damn tree. This is the tree that she hit. This is the tree that, as you can see, has cut down. The owners of this land were tired of people traipsing through their land looking for her. They were tired of vigils, by the tree. So they cut the tree down. And you can see in this little red circle is the blue ribbon.
Yeah.
I don't know why you would want to do that. I mean, that tree was the last place Fred Murray's daughter was known to be.
Yeah.
This is where people would go and search. Maybe you don't want people on your land. Okay. Post,
Trespassing. No trespassing.
To do this, it's a slap in the face to a victim and her family to cut it down like, I'm going to cut this down and it never happened. No one will ever know that it happened right here. Honey, they know. But that's, I mean, you're a piece of shit. Sorry. Okay, let's go. We're going to fast forward now. So again, we've ended it. That's what we know. We know nothing. I mean, I just explained everything minute by minute, by 1 minute, and this person's minute, and that person's minute.
Can you address what Onyx Angel said there about he committed suicide sometime?
Sometime around
the Cecil guy. Is that who she's talking about?
Tell me who. Yeah, say it. Say who it is, and I'll know. I'll know. It's in my brain. It's just I'm not being able to pull it up.
And in those 2 days when
that's Ox's Angel, you are my angel. He did. He had dementia, and he committed suicide. Cecil did. So again, he would have done. Let's see. It was 2020. He went in 2004. So I don't know when his dementia started, but that was a lost vessel. I'm so glad that you reminded me of that.
Well, if in those 2 days before anyone really started searching, he could have gone, if in fact it was him, if he could have gone, moved the evidence, made sure he got rid of it, in all those years, how many more times could that evidence have been taken further and further away?
Exactly. That's why this is so anybody in this it's so maddening that she disappeared within 5 to 7 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And you have people that have lived their whole life there. And she got away from everybody. And then the EMS being called off.
Yeah.
You have a possible chest injury, head injury,
right.
And she's wandered off, and you're sending them out right away. Like, nah, they didn't even get out the damn truck.
Right. They could have said, you know what? We don't exactly know what we're looking at here. Hang out for 10, 15 minutes. Let us get a grip on what we're seeing.
Yeah.
And nobody
would have been there 10 minutes himself.
Yeah. And he's the only person in the timeline who keeps changing his times.
Even if it was only, Janie, here's the thing, it was only by those minutes.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he didn't change them 10 minutes, 20 minutes. It was the 5 to 7 minutes.
Right.
That he changed up.
Right.
So let's go.
So far, that's looking like the most
plausible.
Yeah.
Really good. So Bill Ralph here, what a great guy he turned out to be.
And this was the boyfriend, right?
This is the boyfriend.
Okay.
So in the years following Miss Murray's disappearance, Bill went on to he went to work in Washington. Let me find it all here. And he was a absolute, undisputable piece of human shit. You say, Shannon, why do you say that? And I'm going to find my paper and tell you exactly why.
Do you need me right away?
Yeah.
Okay. Because I've got to do kitten duty. We've got Bob
Okay. Okay.
So I'm just going to mute. I'll still be sitting here listening. If you need me, holler.
I will. Hold on. Wait, where's Bill's stuff? Oh, come on. Let me find it. So let's see. Bill was accused, and rightly so, of assaulting one woman that he worked with. I think everybody, if I remember this correctly now, because I can't find the damn paperwork. All right, here we go. I got it. So Bill was indicted by a grand jury in D.C. in April 2019 for felony sex abuse. The alleged attack took place in the office of, he worked for this corporation, the Ray Group International. It had happened actually in 2011. And he was, that was a 3rd-degree felony. And what Bill did was, one, the office had gone out for drinks. And I think this woman, along with some other, came back up to the office to get her jacket. And he brought her into one of the rooms there, and she was his subordinate. And he, pressed himself against her, bent her over a desk, and whatnot. What he also did, though, was while they were in the subway of Washington, D.C., he admittedly pushed her down some escalator stairs. So Bill he's married now. He's got children. But Bill was a pretty dark figure. There were rumors that he had put his hands on Maura. There were rumors that he was a philanderer, but now we've got him as a 3rd-degree felon, sexual assault on a woman. He also dated a woman, and he would choke her while they were having sex, and he said, "I'll kill you like I killed Maura." And a lot of his girlfriends after Maura reported physical abuse, very strange sexual kinks there. So, yeah, Bill. People think that Bill could have done it, but Bill was in Oklahoma and was in Oklahoma when he got the call the Wednesday. He did not leave. He was not gone. He could be accounted for. Bill's mother, after Maura disappeared, and it all came out of how he he was, he cheated on her and possibly had his hands on her. And the mother came out and said, "Oh, no, they were in love. And she was part of the family, and there's just no way. My son was going to marry her." And then to find out her son is a grade 1A creep. Is that the end? No, that's not the end. So we have some developments that have happened this year. And this involves a man named Stephen Baldwin. Now, I'm going to tell you a little bit about Stephen Baldwin, and then we're going to figure out how this goes. So, Stephen Baldwin, well, I'll tell you, let's just go through it. So, in Maura's car, they found a fingerprint on a CD. And that fingerprint came back to no one. It was not Maura's. It was not anyone that she knew. So they had this fingerprint forever. A man named Stephen Baldwin, who went to West Point with Maura, who dated Maura, who was the one that represented her when she had been left on the lawn of West Point with alcohol poisoning. He was the one that got into trouble because him and Maura were on a horizontal surface together. So in 2012, and let me say this, when Maura left West Point on January 2nd, 2002, he left a week after her. Let's find him. Let me get you his picture. And there we go with that. Look at it. And he is great. This is Stephen Baldwin. Now, in 2002, Baldwin was a humane society agent in Ohio. He investigated animal cruelty. He started his own nonprofit, the Animal Cruelty Task Force, where he would pick up dogs with behavioral issues and take them back and rehabilitate them, okay? And then either give them back to the owners or find new owners. And wow, what a great one. Over time, owners would call and ask about their pets, and Baldwin would assure them that the animals had been fully rehabilitated and adopted, and but there was never any paperwork for that. So, no proof. They never saw their dogs again. He wouldn't tell them where the dogs went. And the truth was, he was euthanizing these dogs. Every time he got too many, he would just euthanize a few of them, tell the owners that they had been adopted out, or whatever, and then he would get money for new dogs. He would charge $1,000. When I say nonprofit, he would charge up to $1,000. And these owners would pay it because they didn't want their dog destroyed. This man said he could rehabilitate them. And didn't even tell them that, that they got adopted out and there was ever any paperwork. And he actually also probably euthanized at least, they say, 18 dogs that they know of and over 100 cats. And so they caught him in Ohio. Well, then he effed off to California, where he started this up all over again. Now, he was arrested and he was brought back to Ohio. They took his fingerprints because it's a felony. His fingerprint was the fingerprint on the CD in Maura's car. He says that they just switch CDs all the time, and that just must have been one that he had borrowed from her, and his fingerprint was stolen. Perfectly plausible. I'm not saying that it's not. But let's find out a little bit about Stephen Baldwin, because he's a real piece of crap as well. So this is the 2004s when they matched the fingerprint to him. He denied any involvement. Of course, he did know her, and he did leave. Why would you leave West Point a week after Maura left if this was your... Anyway. So, Stephen was spoken to by the police, and we'll go back over Julie, her sister. Let me just stop right here. Maura had two men that she had gone to West Point with that were in her messenger. It was two different ones. One of them was just a friend checking up, how you doing? And Julie didn't name these men. She called them by pseudonyms. So one, the police had absolutely talked to him. The FBI talked to him, later. And then there was another one. And this other guy that Julie spoke with, Maura had this guy's home address. And Julie was like, why would my sister have your home address? And he said, oh, well, my mom and dad would always have these, Army Navy football parties. And Maura was invited, a couple of times. And so she had our address. And then looking further into Maura's things, she'd asked this man, had you ever been to, UMass up to visit Maura? And he said, no, I've never done that. And then a little later, there is a picture of him and Maura at UMass. And she calls him back to ask him about that. And he stops communicating with her. I don't know if that person was Stephen. It sounds, because Julie used a pseudonym. Now, she might have, in the last couple of months that this came out, have said, yeah, that's the guy that's the guy. But we don't know. Now, Baldwin here, again, like Bill, had some issues, let's put it that way. His mother is missing as well. Stephen's mother has been missing for quite a long time. Did he have anything to do with that? Don't know, because they think maybe she just left. This is so odd. It's so odd. Some of his girlfriends call him a psychopath. It is not very nice things. Not very nice things. They've called him a master manipulator. He did send a rather long email to the FBI naming different people that it could have been, none of which panned out in the end. But I'm gonna read some of these victim impact statements of the people that he took the dogs from. And no, I'm not. I'm gonna read you one because I don't know what I did with the other ones. So a woman named Linda said, quote, this is during his penalty phase. He was and is a master manipulator and can make other people believe whatever he wanted them to believe. His actions were not one-off. It was habitual. And he hid things with a simple smile on his face. I believe there are more lies out there to be aware of. A veterinarian who knew him said he is someone who has no empathy, no ability to care for others. I want you to consider his lack of remorse. Another person said he always thought he was smarter than everyone else. He was a psychotic. He has psychopathic tendencies. I'm sorry. He has no emotion, no compassion for victims, human or animal. the judge sentenced him to 15 and a half years. And that's just been this year. Now, this sounds like a man. If you do something to an animal, you'll do it to a child, you'll do it to a human. And the victim impact statements here are all long, and I don't know where they are, but there were a lot of similar. He would also have to submit his DNA, but we don't have a body for Maura. And so so she's had this guy here, this Stephen Baldwin, who knew her then. Could be the same person that Julie talked about that said he had never been up there. And then there was a photograph of them in 2003 together up there. Maura could have wanted to lean on her ex-boyfriend, and they could have arranged to meet somewhere. The amount of alcohol that she had is excessive, I would think. It's a lot of alcohol. There was also an age progress. This is one of the other, we'll call them updates, but they did put out a age progressed photo of what Maura might look like today. And this is all we have. And it looks like a lot because I'm sitting here right now and I'm surrounded by the paperwork and the details and all this, and we're still here. We're still 747 on Route 112 in Haverhill, New Hampshire, with an empty car, no Maura, and we're no closer than that. We are no closer to finding her. His mother up there now, because I thought it was odd that his mother went missing. They say she was a little bit eccentric, maybe, and possibly just changed her name and moved. She didn't seem to have raised a very stable son here. Yeah, only 15 years. Now, will he have to go to California and face charges there? I don't know. Ohio got him. And 15 and a half years for $18 and over 100 cats. And I don't even know. And I can tell you when I read these impact statements, nobody ever mentioned the money. Nobody ever said he conned me out of 1,000. He did. It was always about the animals. Never about the money. Yeah, I think she was too. With what? It's so much alcohol. And I can't imagine that she would have planned to drink that much, or was she going to drink that much to work up the courage to do something else? I don't know. I mean, it's just and to be 15 miles away from an area that she considered her second home, and that in the letter to Bill, I'm planning on spending the rest of my life with you, but you have to come and see Indian Leap because this is part of me. This is why and who I am. And she's heading that way on this night. I don't know where she was going to stay. I don't know. Here's the thing that, I tried to get the mileage. I mean, I took their, they said 15 miles. I'll absolutely say it's 15 miles. I don't know any different. When you enter in Indian Leap into MapQuest, quote unquote, it doesn't show you from Route 12 in Haverhill to there that it's 15 miles. It doesn't show it. And you can't even find it. And this Maura also had MapQuested places in Vermont, but obviously she didn't go to Vermont. She chose New Hampshire. Yeah, the White Russian. She liked it White Russian girl. I can't stand anything that's got like cream in it. So, but you know, I know people do. She seemed to enjoy them. Um, you know, in this time, her sister has died. Her mother died, both of cancer. I can imagine there are nieces and nephews that she will never know, that will never know her. Her father has never given up. Her sister Julie has never given up. It's become their life's work. You have an aftermath of people that probably didn't deserve her, which is Bill Roche. Sorry. I don't care how great you were in West Point. You turned out to be a shit boyfriend, not only to Maura, but to a lot of other women that came behind her. And then you're a third-degree felon with sexual assault. And you pushed that woman downstairs. You admit that you did that. He pushed the same woman downstairs in the subway. Why? And he's married now? I mean, and his children? Do you need children? I mean, that's a pretty sick thing to do. He could probably blame the trauma of losing Maura, and I'm sure he probably did that a lot to probably get dates. Oh, you're the one that dated Maura. Yeah, I miss her so much. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna push your ass down the steps, though. I'm trying to make sure I've gotten everything. I think y'all got it all. I'll go upstairs and remember something. I'll be so pissed off. But yeah, I think we got it all. I mean, I've got notebooks because I've already had a file that I had done this before. And then I thought, okay, well, let me work from the new things that have come out backwards. Okay, so, and I thought that maybe that would make us meet in the middle cohesively, but it hasn't, because you know, that part, that 5 to 7 minutes, which is, I don't think it's that long. I think it's like 4 to 6 minutes. Once everything hits that 4 to 7 minutes, nothing makes any sense. So it's kind of hard to go backwards. And then you had, you know, Mr. Baldwin here, who could very well have been the person that she was going to meet. They were ex-boyfriend, ex-girlfriend. In fact, he didn't know that they had broken up until they all got on a bus to go somewhere. And Maura went to sit beside Bill Roush and not Mr. Baldwin. And that's when he realized, I think me and Maura have broken up. Now, if he is a, you know, on everything that they say he was, which I just put up, you know, but a manipulator and a psychopathic, person, and he will kill dogs and cats just for whatever. Is it too much to think maybe he had been there that night and was part of this? I don't know. Julie, I don't know if she's ever come out and said, "Oh yeah, that's the guy I was talking about, the one that actually was up there."
Oh,
Nobody knows.
I'm sorry. I'm still in the middle of feeding. It sounded like you were winding down.
I'm winding down.
Okay. So I'm going to mute. And if you end it before this, I just wanted to say real quick that I think the most likely is that Cecil guy. But I think she did have a lot psychologically going on in her life.
That poor kid. You know, that's all I could say. That poor kid. I've got 2 children that, you know, were 21 before. And I got 3. I'm sorry, my son. And man, I can't imagine them being out there and me not knowing where they were. I can't imagine them being that upset, because when you look back on things, you know, as you're 21 years out now, and of course Fred's gonna say, I wouldn't have been mad. You know, I wouldn't have been mad.
Right.
because she would have been with us, and it's easy to look back and say that. I don't know why it took Kathleen, that long to say what that conversation was that she and her sister had on that Saturday night. I don't know why. Maybe she had relapsed several times and she just didn't want to mention it. I don't really know. I don't know why you wouldn't mention it. And so, I mean, basically, we can end it really now because the theories and the possibilities are endless, but they're not.
Right.
They're endless, but they're not at all.
It could have been a little bit of everything. She could have having psychological issues, wanting to get away, didn't know necessarily what she was going to do, but something was going to change. And then she ran into someone who had bad intentions,
Yeah, and honestly, I couldn't figure that out either because I don't think that would be even hard for his family to say, we don't know when it started. We don't know. Sean the Brit Lick. How are you? Oh, look. No, look. There you go. Wait a minute. This is my Sean the Brit shirt. Just kidding. Yeah, I don't know. It's one of those that we're probably never going to find out. Even if they find her bones at this point, right? We're not going to know. We're not going to know. Cecil's dead. They won't, unless there's obvious injuries on the body, we're not going to know. If even did she go out? Did she take something and go out? She did take Tylenol PM with her, but I don't think that you can take that much and drink. I don't really know. I don't think that that's probably possible, but again, if her bones were found tomorrow, unless there were injuries on the bones themselves, we wouldn't know.
Yeah.
We're not ever going to know. We're not ever going to know. There's not going to be a note on the bones that says Cecil did this, or I jumped, or I succumbed to exposure or whatever. We're not going to ever know. So.
Right. And as I said earlier, her remains could have been moved many times.
Exactly. So in things that made a big deal back, like the room packed up. No, the room wasn't unpacked. She didn't pack it up. She never unpacked it. The letter on top. No. Or the dog scent taking it to an intersection. No, that didn't happen either. But it follows this story, and you have to kind of chase them down. Yeah, it's another sad, missing child. She is a child. I mean, and we're not ever going to know. And this one, I don't think we're ever going to know. A lot of the ones I do, we're never going to know. And I almost feel guilty sometimes. I'm telling you, I almost feel guilty when I present one of these because you're going to leave here and your brain's and I hope anybody, y'all, the big 300 or 400 that watch this, when I don't know who you are, but I love you. Go back and look on this stuff yourself, and I hope you do. You're really going to be confused. It's a lot. It's a lot of possibility, a lot of ifs, a lot of whats, a lot of that's going on.
I do believe it's like you said earlier, her mother and her brother that have passed and all of that, her sister, they have the answers. They know what's happened, and
he's good there.
All in good time.
Yeah. I just feel bad. I know that Fred has never given up, and Julie has never given up. And you look at his face now, and it's been 21 years, and he's gonna age. He's aged. He started aging really badly right after this, and he never let up. He sued everybody he could to get answers.
Right.
And he hasn't gotten them. And that's fucking crazy. Good night, Wolf Rider. You have a good rest of the weekend too. Janie, thank you.
You're welcome. I'm going to go ahead and jump down and take care of the kids. I don't know if you can hear them or not, but
I can hear them. Thank you for being our resident.
Thanks for having
expert.
And I will see you tomorrow at
tomorrow.
Time.
Right. We're going to put that back out. All right. Thank you very much. And I'm going to end it. And don't forget tomorrow at 3 o'clock Eastern, 2 o'clock. Yeah. 3 o'clock Eastern on Janie's channel. Let me put it in here real quick because I got it on my neat little board here that I didn't even know I could access. So isn't that great when you learn something new? It is a caregiver support group, and where we can talk about frustrations in being a caregiver and on your last legs of being a caregiver, and a place to vent about it, talk about it, share resources. And why can't I find her here? Hold on. It's just a good place to go. So it'll be on Jane's channel tomorrow. And I hope you join us if you are a caregiver. Let me find it. What I've done. Shannon. You sound like my mom. Shannon. There we go. I'm sorry. There we go. This is her. This is her. If you are interested in coming, we're gonna switch it. We're gonna go back and forth every couple of weeks, do it on both of our channels. So tomorrow it's Janie's channel, and there's Janie's link, and it'll be 2 Eastern. Nope, 3 Eastern. And if there's a change, we'll let you know. But please join us if you are a caregiver, a former caregiver, and all that. What I think I'm going to do next week is I think I'm going to do a paranormal pajama party. But since the beginning, kind of the ghost stories have kind of dried up. People don't want to come on anymore. I can get PDX. She could come up. But I thought maybe what I would do is cover things like the Bell Witch and other ghost stories. And we could thank you, Wolf Rider. So yeah, I mean maybe a paranormal will do. Again, and we'll just discuss a certain haunted whatever, which probably would be easier than just waiting for people to come up. We also have not conspiracies, but I'm going to be covering the Freemasons in a couple of weeks. I'll put that up too and get that rolling. I've got to give that a lot of research because that's a lot. Yeah, the Freemasons are a lot. So I'm like in the stages right now, just what they're supposed to represent and figure out the rest of it. And then we'll come up with some other stuff. Catherine's got a Greek play at school sometime about October. So I have to figure out what that is. But yeah, we're just going to do it. If y'all got a ghost story that you want to talk about or want me to talk about, let me know. vshannon681@gmail.com. If you want one that you are, and you can come up and we can all talk about it. Come up. Catherine will be joining us. It's one of our things. So next Saturday, paranormal pajama party. And then we'll just go from there. So thank you, Onyx Angel. Thank you for reminding me that Cecil Smith died. I forgot about that. It's in my notes, but if I don't see it. And thank you for everybody that did show up, and I appreciate it. I appreciate you every week. And I know you choose to spend your time here, and I couldn't thank you enough. So I'll see you soon. You'll see me around. I'm going to start doing drama again too, girls and boys. Not probably, not, yeah, we'll figure it out. I've tried to go non-drama. I like non-drama. But there are things that I want to talk about that are drama, and I feel like I can't do it because I've said no drama. But I'm sorry. Like I said, I got to be me. And so if I want to talk about Ernie, if I want to talk about the Whitakers, if I want to talk about whatever, I'm going to start doing it. Sorry, but I'm going to start doing it. I didn't do it for a long time, or I did here and there but I'm going back to it, okay? Because I'm going to get ulcers if I don't. They are, Onyx. That's what I'm saying. There is so much going on. And I sit around and I have an opinion on it. And I think I can't share it because I've sworn off drama. Well, all bets are off. Okay. I'm not going to get shitty probably. I don't know. Oh, Ernie's going to be discussed. So is Benny. I might be able to get Benny over here. Who knows? We used to be okay, but then he came back and he became the exact same person that he was when he left. So I don't know why that was. Anyway, so if y'all see me this week, it might be about drama. Like, I don't know. And if you don't see me this week, I'll see you tomorrow, and then I'll see you next Saturday. Thank you for coming. Love you all. Talk to you later. Bye. Bye. Goodbye.